Cruzin. Hello, Santa Cruzin. Anybody else out there? Decided I have a meeting to go to in about an hour that I should come on and maybe just chat. Maybe somebody's kicking around, maybe they're not. And I'm going to have a coffee so that I'm awake for when I go to my meeting. And my coffee is in my Edmonton Whisky or Edmonton Scotch Club mug. Come on, focus, camera. Maybe too shiny. Hey, Red. Rabbit in Red, Loch Ness. Tony Evans, hey, how you doing? Gonna put a little 40 Creek cream liqueur in it. Why do I choose this over Bailey's? One, it's made in Canada, 40 Creek, Ontario. Two, first ingredient is fresh dairy. I'm just gonna put a little of this into my coffee. So we are still drinking whiskey. 1, 2, 3. We don't want too much. You ever have one of them buddies that put in more coffee, cream, or whatever they put in? I can't even taste the coffee. Oh, I don't have a spoon to stir this with. What am I going to stir this with, guys? Oh, I see. There's a pen back here. What pen should I use? Scotch Whisky Society pen. There. Stirred. Ooh, she filled her up good, though. I agree. 40 Creek is the bomb. It is way better than Bailey's. All you have to do is try it. Thank you, Amy. Amy's pressing like already. Good to know. Oh, that hits the spot. Some Starbucks coffee out of the Keurig. Checking my hair here. One light seems to be giving me a halo. Is that okay? Should I have a halo? How about that? My mic. Trying to keep everything within reason here on the screen. Da-da-da. So what's new? What did I say my topic was? Maybe I buy too much whiskey. Does anybody else have a problem buying whiskey? And, let's be open and honest here. Does anybody? Mash a Drum, how you doing, Jason? Why am I getting all these updates when I start a show? That's a Ralphie update that I just got. Give you some? No. I'm not talking about quantity, Josh. Know your whiskey, if anybody's been around. He's a prime example, actually, of a man that has had a lot of whiskeys and lost a lot of whiskeys. And you've heard me mention it, right? I'm just saying, could we be balanced? I've been introduced to minimalism through my lovely Julia. And, there's a little bit to say about being happy and not having to have all the stuff. And I have had my eyes open this week to people that have stuff twice this week. It's very funny that it both happened in the same week about... although I don't have that kind of a problem now. Let's not go too far. I mean, I know you do counseling and everything, but anyway, I've seen people that have the same more or less about me, or some have even more. I cannot believe it. Now, sure, maybe they make good money, maybe they're just crazy. I don't know. Amy, what's this Hubba Bubba? I used to chew Hubba Bubba gum. Then my jaw, just too much chewing, man. You have more of a problem hunting than buying. I did not know that you were a hunter. Generally, what I'm looking for, I never find. Oh, hunting for whiskey, not hunting for... I know guys that are avid hunters, so on that point, it doesn't have to be whiskey. It can be anything that we really enjoy. And I am a sucker for bargains, too. Know your whiskey? Where was I yesterday? And who did I meet? Our fellow friend, the Scotch Sniper. Although I think Sniper left before I did. So, and they were some pretty good bargains. I mean, okay, guys, so here's where this started yesterday. And for the last month and a half, Know Your Whiskey which is, for you people in the US, the same as Total Wine. Okay, so we have 3, maybe 4 of those stores here. And they've been heavily competing against some of the other private liquor stores. And they've been having sales on. They have 30% off all wine, 20% off all spirits, and 20% off all beers. And it is insane. The store is packed. Now, doing it at this time of season, people are stocking up like you wouldn't believe, right? Yes, Know Your Whiskey gave him that name. We actually call him the Scotch Whiskey Hunter, but the sniper should stick. Anyway, you go in there and you see, now, I mean, their markup is crazy. If they have a 30% markup, you're getting it for 10% above cost, right? A lot of times, man, if they know something's popular, they bump it up higher than that, right? I have some people that are on the inn, and I tell you, they let you know, I'm like, well, holy crap. But if you know those same people, then they'll say, you're getting this one for 7% above cost, right? There's a lot of competition out here because we have private liquor stores. And I wonder if we are emotionally affected by that, where we're buying stuff that's not necessarily something we really love. We just heard somebody like Know Your Whiskey say, oh, this whiskey's coming out, and that guy is such an influencer that you're like, I got to have what he said I had to have, right? So, I mean, there's lots, we can go that way, and I'm just using Josh because I think I can get away with it. There are other people out there that consider themselves influencers, and maybe we're going buy and bottle because of that, right? But do we need to? Can you not just buy a cheap bottle of whatever and sit back with your friends on a fire or somewhere and just enjoy it? Or do you have to have it all? And I think maybe I got that problem. I have to have it all. You know, we are all man. We are all man. No sales. And Amy, I'm trying to remember where you live, but you do get some nice whiskeys down there compared to some places. I know you do. Right? And I think the enjoyment of whiskey is maybe more important. Malted Man Cave, I think you and I need to talk, because you finished off a bottle of Tomatin, but you had opened for so long on your channel. When you did that review, I wanted to send you another bottle, and I don't know if I have it or if I can find it. That's a different topic, Josh. If you're an influencer, sure you are. Even if you only influence the next door neighbor, you know, we're all we can all be influenced, and we can all be influencers. Yes, that's where you are. And I hope George is doing well. I haven't seen him much, a couple times on Instagram. Maybe he's a busy man. I was influenced right here. See that bottle there? Want to see a bottle? I was influenced by this bottle right here by a guy in Winnipeg. Boom. And that is not, this is an Irish whiskey, no NAS, and it is not cheap. Here, new comments are going to come up about the hair. Right? That was more stable over here. Tree number 4. This box is built out of tree number 4, I wonder. Bluebell Forest Castable Virgin Oak Collection. Whiskey in the Six and I met in Manitoba, in Winnipeg, where he lives, and he told me that this, well, he took me to a bar, and that's what he told him. The whiskey side of this bar was closed. It's like a private or separate whiskey bar, and they gave me, well, they brought it up, $40 per dram. It was phenomenal. If you'd have blindfolded me, I bet you, if I gave you that blind, it would be, you would swear it was a bourbon. I swear to God. If you get a chance to try this, any people out there, I dare you to say that it's not a bourbon. All right, Richie, thank you. And Keith, you like that hair? Thanks. I don't know why I let the guy style it when he cut it that way, but hey, here we go. And look at that. The gray hair now is so blended in that it actually looks like I paid for highlights, and I didn't. This is nothing in here but some gunk, keeping it from being all flippy floppy. But hey, you just call me Johnny Bravo. Blah, 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 blah. If you didn't see Swami and I on the show together going on about my hair and all that other jovial, humorous stuff, you can check that out. It was my debut of my hair. I'd actually forgot about it, but Swami and Telex reminded me of it. This here, for anybody that just came in, is coffee in the Edmonton Scotch Club mug, which is a phenomenal mug. They gave one to me and to Julia. Beautiful. It's a right-sized mug. You know, a man's hand can wrap around that. Although Julia, she loves it. She loves it. I think because she can get more coffee in it. And what I have in this is whiskey from 40 Creek. I stopped by Bailey's when I found this stuff, man. As I said in the beginning, fresh dairy cream is the first ingredient. It's made in 40 Creek, Ontario. If you can't get it at your liquor store, ask for it. So, I mean, at this time of year, everybody is spending money. I had to be in line for at least a half hour in my vehicle to wait and get into a parking lot to go into one of the big Wine and Beyond stores, and I was not impressed at all. Matter of fact, I left it, drove all the way to another one in a less populated area of the city that's just as big, and it was a little bit easier. Anybody else love going into whiskey stores and talking to people? Whiskey Jason, Germany, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. This is a good time to come on and get the people from over in the other side of the pond, I think, as well. That's a good idea. This coffee with that cream in it is awesome. Anybody else having, I don't know what time it is where everybody is. Oh, George just hubba my new haircut. George, does George have hair? I forget now. I think I see him in a hat all the time. I'm going to have to go back and watch the replay of his guest appearance on the Scotch Test Dummies. Anyway, I have a lot of whiskeys, but then I found other people that have a lot more. And then I know guys that have bunkers. They may have less, but they got stuff that I never even thought of seeing, right? I think we all need to check ourselves sometimes and wonder, eh? Anybody in there have the same feelings or think about the same way? What about you, Santa Cruzan? You got stuff I wish I had. So there, and so does Josh, and so does Richie. Richie's got some bottles I have never had, especially the Macallan's number 1, although I'm told that it's really a battle between 2 and 4 by other people that have tried it. You agree? What do you agree on, Josh, that we don't need as much quality or quantity, that we should just focus on quantity? Do I have to try everything? What is it that you feel? Your dram is a Starbucks mocha. And you bought that at a Starbucks? Because I made my Starbucks in a Keurig. Still good. Edition 2 was the best, Keith says. No, okay. I have never bought any of them, and I've stared them right in the eye except for number 1 because it never came to Canada. Had some finally last night. Okay. I bet you they're all good. I bet you they're all better than the main expression. The main expressions. And I've been in liquor stores doing the job of the liquor staff, although I'm only in the whiskey. You should be there one day. Ask Julia how long I spend talking to people. And I just ask them, hey, are you big into whiskey? You're just getting into it? And they're like, oh, yeah, man, I'm trying to figure out something for – I just started this other guy, man, and he followed me back and forth from one shelf to the other. And it was great. Over 10,000 new whiskeys put out every year. No way to try them all. Absolutely. The other part about this is that I was a little miffed that there was 6 bottles of whiskey allotted for my province, my area, and all of them, I'm pretty sure all of them, or 3 of them at least, got shipped to a different province, and I never even got a chance to try one. Now, it wasn't a cheap bottle. We're talking about almost $1,000. But why I allowed it to bother me, I don't know. Probably shouldn't have, right? And to anybody around here, I apologize, but, you know, certain things are allotted because there's very little of it. and we all need a chance. A prime example is this company right here, SMWS. You get people that complain about the cost to be a member, first of all, to buy from an independent bottler. Second of all, they're very limited. You know, this is, well, where is it? 250 bottles. So I'm sure there's some all over the world enough, 250, but that's not enough for everybody, right? How they allot it, I don't know. You know, I know the people that have the rights to import it into Canada, they do all the selecting, two of them, and they're very good at what they do, man. What am I missing in the chat? Everybody saying hi to Amy because she's the popular one. I feel we get caught up in buying killer bottles. I agree. At a certain point, we no longer become relatable. A few collectors here and there relate. I've been drinking some cheap bottles lately. Good, but I like drinking stuff that the folks at home can try too. I agree. Yeah, I have lots of stuff here. Actually, 70% of what I have open is pretty relatable, I think. The curse of a single barrel. Yep, that is true, Whiskey Jason. Canada gets the short end of the stick. How do you mean that, Amy? How do we get the short end of the stick? You do want to join the SMWS? Yeah, Richie, you can join it. I have different feelings about what we get up here or how it's done up here than it is down there. My bourbon journey, Scott, how you doing? I got to pay attention to the time here, guys, because it can't be on for too long. Well, not in a big hurry, but I do have to plan my exit. I have about a 15-minute drive to a meeting later. My problem is I'm afraid of commitment. What are you talking to me? Go Habs. This is going in the wrong direction. I canceled my membership. Single malt whiskey, where are you from? Canada or the UK or US? Not worth it as much anymore. There's lots of people that cancel their membership. And I think that depending on where that is, that might be something to consider. But they're in the wrong direction. What do you mean wrong direction? I think some things are better now. Before it was owned by what the hell their name? Two big corporations were the owners. And now it's owned by a group of private people back in the UK, right? So their direction might be better. I don't know yet. It's hard to say. I love all the ones that we get, and they are usually not big, super duper fancy ones. Partially because they're trying to keep it for everybody. The importers that have the rights for Canada. They're very sensible people, and that part I like about them. Maybe we could do more to broaden it. Okay, you're in Edmonton. Single malt whiskey. I'm sure that I probably have met. Have we met? Anyway, are you a member of this coffee mug? Oh, duh. I'm such a dork. Now I know. Thanks for coming in, buddy. I cannot believe that I forget. I got a bad memory, especially with this stuff. There's so much of it. I'm just going to look you up. You guys follow his Instagram, I'm sure. Yeah, and we were having this discussion at that tasting, weren't we, Chris? Yes, I'm such a bonehead. Sorry, buddy. Yeah, we were sitting not too far right beside each other, really. I can understand why people say that it's going a little too far, but maybe since you quit, there have been some changes. There were some things that were making me a little annoyed too. There are a lot of people and too many to remember. Some people are similar, so you get them mixed up, especially in our names on social media, especially in the whiskey and Scotch world. They're all so similar, right? Anyway, back to the SMWS, and I don't go over too much, but we up here, at least some of us put our foot down, and we've gotten a little bit more where we're not doing some lottery to make sure we get a bottle. I'm like, hold on a second. I've been a member for 6 years. Why do I have to let a newbie get first pick? So they have made some adjustments, so that's not going on. So I'm happy about that, right? And that's from the liquor store that is the exclusive, and from the importers. So how many do I usually have open, Tony? You know, it varies. I mean, at one point I remember having at least 100 bottles open. Now I think I may have somewhere between 50 and 70 open. And I need to go back to them because a lot of them are good stuff and have been sitting in there way too long. Do I have a problem? Yeah, but it's not drinking too much whiskey unless I'm around Josh. Know your whiskey as a, you know, he's bad for me. He's great because I never seen somebody give you so many whiskeys before. But I got to know when to say no. And one of the things I'd like to do is branch out here a little bit with some of these other guys. The Mash and Drum, My Bourbon Journey. You're the number one on the list because I have bourbons. I just don't, and I know which ones are my favorite. I can tell you right now, my go-to bourbon has always been this. Always. Hope you guys can. I don't know why my TV just got so loud. Somebody out there is cranking it up. Do you guys hear too much TV? We didn't get to hook up last. Well, why didn't you try to hook up with me instead? Hold on a second here. All I can hear is the TV blaring in the back with Daredevil. Pretty sure that's what it is. You left the store almost every time not getting the bottle you wanted. Yeah, Chris, I would so much like to have that brought up. That do they know why you didn't renew? Because that would be one of the things I'd say. Because I don't think they have that problem in Calgary. So when you know, I'm one of those ones that phone them and talk to them, and they're pretty reasonable to talk to. And I'm not talking about the store. I'm talking about Kelly, right? So anyway, we are still fortunate here because the people in the States, they don't even get to go to a tasting. They have to order it offline and hope that the bottle they get, which they have to pay for the shipping, is one they like, you know. So they're taking a chance. Yes, I have several bottles of the old one, Whiskey Jason. They just kept showing up. I work in different provinces. Eric, how you doing? Ah, buddy, I like this hair. I hope you like it too. I'm glad that's a big compliment from you, bud. I'll lend it to you one day. Sure, if you want to borrow it. Yeah, man, it is way worse. I mean, we have to find a way, and I've been trying to find a way for people, at least in Canada, all across the provinces can try stuff. But it's the same problem that they have in the US, that each province and each state has its own laws, own taxes. It makes it complicated for the importer that way, pricing, and it makes it complicated for no, they're not new glasses. It just makes it complicated for everybody. And yeah, it would be nice if governments could try to make everything universal in their one country instead of trying to nickel and dime. Whatever. Anyway, that's a totally different subject. I can't get into it. No, but I do need new glasses very badly, or surgery, one or the other. Right? Get something done here. No, it is not, Eric Gilbert. And I will tell the guy that did it what you said, and I think then you're going to get he's coming to find you, man. What was my favorite from the Black Golds? My favorite from the Black Golds, and I got to try a second sample of it, Chris, was Glenrothes. I have a bottle of it, but I am so glad that I went there. It was worth the money to be able to try that one. And the gentleman that won it in the auction or thing at the end of the day, won the heel. He still had some of it, and I was at his warehouse for his business, and he had it there. Oh, man, you should have seen some of the stuff I got to try there. As a matter of fact, I'll even show you a bottle I bought from there. We were there, and I forget the name of the company. On YouTube, it is Whiskey Hunter YYC, because the rep is from Calgary. But this is a first edition, which is Andrew Lang from the Lang family. And this is Andrew. This is a 26-year-old Benromach from 268 bottles, refill punching. Right? Oh, still wrapped up nicely in the. I don't know why they do this, but we'll unwrap it to show you the color. It's not extremely dark, but it was the tastiest one they had there. And how much do you think this 26-year-old bottle costs? How much? Anybody want to guess? Martin, how you doing, buddy? They have New York State has one of the tightest regulated states for liquor stores. They are not allowed to sell anything but wine. But wine, a liquor? What does that mean? Rob, Whiskey in the 6. How you doing, boss? Uh-oh. That's why I don't like those plastic things. They slip down in there. I get the chat's not going that fast, so I see some things, but I'm happy to have 22 viewers in here. Very nice. No, Peter White, I think you were there. It was 180 bucks. 259, 240. It was 180 bucks. Phenomenal for a 26-year-old. I'll give you a prime example as well. Anybody getting the Glen Allachie? So they came out with a 10-year-old, 12-year-old, 18-year-old, and a 25-year-old. The 10-year-old is probably your best bet because it's cask strength, and the tasting I got of it was great. Now, their 25-year-old Glen Allachie, 450 bucks average. Ridiculous. I mean, I can buy a 25-year-old Glenfarclas for $220, which Glenfarclas has always been priced down a little bit. I don't like it as much as, say, their 15-year-old because there's more ABV, and maybe that's another show. And I think it's been done by Roy. Aquavite's already talked about the influence of cask strength and so on. This one, I'm not going to pull it out of the package, is a 25-year-old Glen Allachie. Less than $200. Less than $200. Do you believe that? Bel Air Ocelot 20. Yeah, 127 last year from. See, those are great prices. Really, I mean, if you're basing the price on age, you should base the whiskey on whether you like it as well, right? Can't be going around buying stuff just because it's got an age statement on it. I'm 50 years old, but I don't think I'm worth that much. Anyway, the coffee is warming me up. Does this fan make a lot of noise? Tell me if that fan makes too much noise on the speaker. So I have a lot of whiskey, and I know some of you other ones do too. The Malted Man Cave, the Mash Drum. Eric Waite has a Peter White. I'm sure you have a pretty good collection. Richie, Santa Cruzan. I know Whiskey in the 6. Do we keep buying too much? And should we just focus on it and drink it and enjoy it and then just let it go? Who's having an eggnog shortage? Really, I got eggs in my kitchen right now. Brand new, fresh, organic eggs from Costco. I could go make you some eggnog. Yeah. Oh, I might not have any milk. I don't buy milk. I just buy cream liqueur. Is the smoke finally gone? All right, let's just chat. Hey, our baggy, how you doing? Nice to see certain people in here. I should just pull up can I pull up the participants and see who all there are? Our baggy, Eric Gilbert, Eric Waite, Martin Cole, Calmer, Peter White, Richie Z, Santa Cruz, and Single Malt Whiskey. The Malted Man Cave, the Mash and Drum, Whiskey in the 6, Bourbon Shenanigans. Were you here? No. My bourbon journey was. Maybe not all of you have commented. I'm sure there's more there. Amy, how are we doing on thumbs up? Amy, have you been checking on these guys? Only 8. That's all right. I'm not in this for the thumbs. Salmonella warning on eggnog. Oh, salmonella warning on eggnog. Yeah. with some rum added. Yummy. Yes, it is. Eric Waite, you're still here, buddy? I just bought another Benromach. So if anybody hasn't been talking or done, Eric Waite, first of all, question, have you drank any Benromach? And we'll talk about another bottle that I bought while I was in Scotland quickly. And I'm asking Eric because he's the wine guy that has begun a journey of whiskey. And I like his approach. And his knowledge is accurate knowledge, in my opinion. I haven't double checked everything he does. Not saying that he knows everything, but he knows something about wine. Thank you, Amy. You're the best. You love, what Benromachs have you tried, Malted Man Cave? The Imperial Proof is unbelievable. What's the Imperial Proof? I don't think I've seen that one. No, this is not. But I do have that one, Richie. It is not this. How do you pronounce it now? Sisak? I forget what it is, right? Let's keep it under wraps. I won't say any more. Actually, it's about the finish I want to talk about, not the whiskey. 10 to 1, 10 to 100. Oh, okay. Imperial Proof. Oh, cast strength 10-year-old. I think I might have saw that at the store. Yes, I have had Benromach. I'm doing the dishes so my hands are wet, and I had to dry them to respond. Oh, you don't hire someone to do your dishes? So, why I'm asking you, Eric, before you get your hands dirty again, is I have here from Aaron, this is a distillery-only release. It is called The Wee Double by Billy and Jim. I forget Billy's last name. Jim was obviously the passed away Jim Swan. This is done in ex-Sassicaia barrels, and it was my favorite because it was something different, right? Yeah, you've tried a lot, but why is that still such an understated whiskey? And I'm sorry, Eric, but yeah, let's. Actually, one guy at the liquor store told me he just finds the marketing, the labels, the boxes and stuff not that attractive. And I'm like, well, what's that got to do with what's in the bottle? But a nice heathery peat. So I have that one from Aaron, which is not peaty, is a super Tuscan. And is it an expensive wine, Eric? Someone told me that they're like $300 a bottle. Is that average? The organic is good, Tony. That I have tried quite a bit. I have some Benromachs here. I've always been a fan of theirs. I have some very old cast strengths. Well, the age isn't old. They're just old bottling. I mean, one's a 2001, distilled 2002. I have those, both of those. All great. So the other reason why we're bringing up Benromach, even though I just showed you an Aaron, is I just bought this Benromach. And I need to know more about that type of wine before I start tasting it. I've had people tell me that it's this. It is super expensive. The 2015 has got very high ratings. Okay. Well, this is a Benromach. It is only 8 years old. It is 09 distilled, bottled in 2017, and it's a Sassicaia. I haven't read if it's a finish. And this was one of the ones that was on sale. I think it was retailing for 120. It was on sale for 98, and then it was 20% off that 98. And that brings up another point. Do we spend too much for whiskeys? Are we not demanding a better price? Anyway, not all these answers have to be, questions have to be answered. They're just personally for us to think about. It's a wood finish. What do you mean it's a wood finish? You mean they just added something from Sassicaia into the barrel, Richie? I don't think so. But I'm going to find out for sure. Matter of fact, there is a. But I think that pamphlet is just a regular pamphlet that's in every bottle. I don't think it's about this one specific. Well, maybe. It's got it written right on the top of it. Right. But yeah, and we do have to be careful about what we're reading too. Sometimes they word it in such a way that it's mentioned that way. Non-traditional Italian blends, often blending Sangiovias, I hope I said that right, and Cabernet or Merlot in super Tuscan barrels. Richie is right on your tail, Eric. I think he's going to be the new sommelier. What does it say here? God, I hate it. Wood finished is matured in first fill bourbon barrels, followed by 28 months in a Sazakhaya cask from the fashionable wine producing region of Bulgaria. I think you would say that Bulgaria or Bulgaria in Tuscany, not spelt as in Bulgaria. Right? Yeah, I think you are, Richie. I think you're giving Eric a run for your money. He knows an awful lot about wine, that kid. Maybe it's because he's been hanging out with Eric and he's just repeating verbiage that he's heard from Eric. So I can't wait to try these. Well, I've tried that other one and I was very impressed. But I wonder if that's a finish as well. The Wee Double. I think this one is 100% finished in the Sazakhaya. You'd love to see a whole wine matured. They exist. Find some of the Brook Laddies. Only in his dreams. Oh, Eric, don't be so freaking worried. I forget the word I was just going to use here. This is a nice Aaron. I like that Aaron. The Broddock 20 is good as well. So this here says that it was from a single Sazakhaya cask chosen independently from a selection of 8 different samples drawn by James McTaggart. Billy Baton and Jim Douglas, not Jim Swan. Okay, I've got some more homework to do. What do you mean it's pretty good? It's damn good. Yeah, Aaron. But now, was that the bottle you finished, Keith, on your show? That you had open for so long and then you decided to finish the heel off before you did a nosy? I want to... Or was that automaton? I thought that was automaton. Me and George have the same haircut. He changes his all the time. Well, George is a smart man. Oh, yes. Yeah, aged in Burgundy cask. So I have quite a few... not quite a few, but I have several Brook Laddies that have been completely finished in a wine barrel. Pretty sure I have a automaton or 2 like that as well. But again, it was an Aaron 10. Okay, well, we need to talk about some Aaron stuff. The cask, yeah, but there's still refill bourbon. Okay. Have a red hint to them. Yes. Later, once I get things situated here, still, I'm trying, guys. I know it was been October, so it's been a long time since I went to Scotland, but I have a job and other things to take care of, and I can't always learn how to edit and do things like, Eric Waite. That guy's got it down. Anyway, the first barrel that James McTaggart pulled for us was the color of like red Kool-Aid, man. And I liked it, but I like it because it was different, not because it was the best whiskey I've tried or a whiskey that I probably would tell everybody you got to buy. There you go. Thanks, Richie. I'm trying. We got a few more minutes here. We got time. Well, I'm running a little tight. We'll give her another 5-10 minutes. Anyway, the question's out there. Do we buy too much? Are we consumer driven with not just whiskey? I mean, whiskey is what relates in our world and our subjects. I think I buy too much. I do. And yet I don't think I'm going to stop. There were some great deals. And some of them weren't even deals. I mean, I had to buy a 25-year-old Glengoyne. I bought 2 Annex. I had to buy this. I kicked myself, although I think I got this cheaper than if I bought it. Take care, Scott. Let's have a talk this week, okay? Green Spot Bordeaux cask was nice. I had to buy a 21-year-old Tobermory. I was at Tobermory, and here's the funny thing. I only brought back Lechegs. I brought one Lecheg back from Adelphi, and I brought back a Lecheg from one of the barrels we were drinking out of. It's a 53.4 2004 Oloroso cask. It was phenomenal. And I got a 16-year-old Virgin Oak Lecheg, but I never bought a Tobermory while I was there. But I was also trying to, you know, keep the packages down. Yeah, I can understand that. I got lots of whiskey friends. Josh, if he's still in here, he'd go right after my Brook Laddie section on my shelf. Yes, too much everything. I think we do. Amy, we can live with a lot less, can't we? But it's a live and learn experience, I think. This coffee's on. When this coffee's gone, we got to go. I got to get ready. Anybody that's coming in, we've been chatting about quantity over quality, over buying things just because we think we have to have it. I wonder if there's a way to. You hear everybody, even very balanced men like Roy from Aquavite say, "I have put myself on a budget on my whiskey," and then he sees stuff, and hey, I think I need to get one. Eric Waite's going live in 2 hours, folks. All my whiskey friends, I only know. Really? Well, why don't you, without going out as Eric Waite, I have a whiskey channel, go out to some tastings and so forth in your area. You must have whiskey tastings going on. That's what I tell Julia. All my whiskey tastings or purchases are for educational purpose. Actually, all mine, they were all on sale, and she's not even that hard on me. Do I have the 30-year-old Brook Laddie bourbon and sherry cask? I don't think so. I do not. I don't even know the oldest. Oh, the oldest Brook Laddie I have, I think, is 36 years old. But I do not believe it is a bourbon and sherry cask. It is called the DNA. There's more of a wine culture here. Well, are you telling me a man of your caliber cannot create a whiskey culture? Eric? Well, introduce them to whiskey or add new friends. That's all I have to say. I think we can make adjustments, all of us, in North America, period. Eric, what's this? Stop buying whiskey lately, but it's because I'm broke from moving. Oh, maybe that's what I need to do. Move. Do I need to move? Sell this house? Ah, Scott, you missed it all. We were talking about how much we spend on whiskey. Or do we spend too much? Do we have too big a collection? Do we buy just because we think we have to have it? Right? I said that I've had some eye-openers this week, too, of some phenomenal collections. People think that I have a phenomenal collection, but then I turn around and somebody, oh yeah, I have this. I have 12,000 bottles. So it just made me start to think, right? Think about some stuff that I've been learning, some of it from Julia, about minimalism and what kind of freedoms we have. You know, Eric Gilbert just brought up that he's broke because he's moving. I cannot imagine what moving day would be like for me with a collection of whiskey bottles that I have to bottle. I want to buy more too. I did. And sometimes I think, man, now I put myself in a spot that I better start hunting for work for next year, right? Yeah, if I move, have fun with the bottles. It's going to be something else, man. To move them all, I'd have to start packing now. And I'm not even planning on moving. to 10 grand a year. I'd like to limit. You try to limit yourself, Chris. That's still 10 grand a year. Anybody out there ever think? Do you spend 10 grand a year? That's a lot. I wonder, do I spend 10 grand a year? You got nothing. I got 100 bottles of Johnny Walker. Well, I'm glad you got them, because Johnny Walker is going to need your support after that bottle out of there. That should hurt their freaking bottom line, but it probably won't. I'm going to give you guys one thing to look up. I didn't even know the movie to look it up on, actually. It was sent to me by a friend. About the heck is it from? I hope they tell you what movie it's from. You probably can't. Can I? Will I, guys? Eric and will I get in trouble for playing this? It's the guy. I won't mention names, stuff. I don't know if I can do this on YouTube. He's going in and he wants to order a large coffee at Starbucks, and she's like, "A large?" The girl there, a large, and he's like, "A large." Not venti means 20, and tall means large. Like, he gives her he says, "You're stupid in 4 languages," and I find that's one of the reasons, Eric. I give you credit. I like your etymology. I like that you look up and, hey, let's find the meaning of what sommelier means. And you might change what I say, but it basically means wine butler. You cannot be a sommelier, whiskey sommelier, because how can you be a whiskey wine butler? I guess if you were in charge of the guy's whiskey, but if we're taking the original pure meaning of a word from another language and translating it, and the only way to do an honest translation of things is not to change the meaning. So I like that. Like, people standing behind the counter, I don't care where in North America you live, and they think venti is large. No, it doesn't. Where's the word? It means 20 ounces is why they called it a venti. Now I'm rambling, right? You can't pronounce French or Italian very well. As long as you don't change the meaning. You probably spend $2 to $3K a year, give or take. Luckily, I have friends that we trade bottles, yeah, and generous subscribers and friends like Santa Cruz and George and Amy. All of those people are very generous. And it's very nice of you to mention them. And tonight's Poison. That'll be interesting. I don't know if I'll be able to watch it. 6 through. I should. You're only an hour ahead of me. I think I'll be able to watch. Yep. Tonight's Poison. That guy's a baller. Role models are yes, thank you. Is it Role Models? Is that the name of the movie? Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm gonna watch that movie again just for that one scene. It was sent to me by Julia, and what it says is that there's always one person in the crowd, and she thinks I'm that guy, right? Eric, you do yeah, but Eric is a student, I think, and that's good. I like people. I like to do research. I tend to do quick, short research, not in depth, and I think Eric does the deeper stuff, right? Johnny Walker, okay. I try to limit 1 bottle a week, but I usually go over 1 bottle a week. That's pretty good. It's still going to be a lot of money. About 5 to 6 grand a year, just on whiskey, Martin. And Chris, I'm very impressed that just with that little bit of a blurb and me talking about it, you knew what movie that was. Yeah. Yeah. What's your favorite whiskey of the year? Oh man. Richie, I'm gonna have to go back look at them. But you know what? One of my favorites, my favorite whiskey, and it's not a whiskey, really. It's a whiskey, but it's not from a distillery. And I have a video of it. I haven't looked at it yet to edit it. I hope it all comes out. We were on the ferry leaving the Isle of Mull from Tobermory back to the mainland on the day we were heading to Adelphi, or the Ardmurchan Distillery. And Roy had given me 3 samples. And I was planning on trying to do them all while we were on our trip, but it was a very fast-paced trip, basically because we had to catch the ferry terminal in the beginning. So it was a whirlwind of a trip. But we did, myself and Dave from the Cake and Cork, he's the manager of the liquor store, we shared the sample from Roy's Infinity bottle. So can I give that a world whiskey thing? I don't know, but it was elegant. It balanced. I could not, like, it was just phenomenal. There was nothing in there that spiked or crashed. It was just phenomenal. I don't know, Eric, if you got to try it, and if you did get to try from his Infinity bottle, it probably wouldn't be the same part of the Infinity that I got to try, because I'm sure it would have changed. If that answered your question at all, Richie. That is one of the more memorable things. And a bottle, a sample I have here from Adelphi. It was the last bottle, and it was less than half full. And I got the guy to give me a half a sample. Excuse me, guys. Hey, it's 10 after. I got somewhere to be. I thank you guys all for coming in and listening to me ramble. They're just thoughts, stuff for all of us to think about. I hope you guys are doing well. I thank you all. Scotch Test Dummies, Whiskey in the Six, Eric Waite, Amy, obviously, Santa Cruzan and Richie, some of the biggest fans around. Single Malt Whiskey, Chris, local guy, thank you very much for coming in, my friend. And you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday and weekend. Do not forget, Eric Waite's on in a couple hours, and Santa Cruz Scotch Test Dummies are on later on Instagram on tonight's Poison. Are you the guest, or are you guesting him? Just curious. Tony Evans, thank you very much. I don't know if I've seen you before, but I'm glad you're here. Back to the washing dishes, buddy. Yeah, I'm going to flip over into a little bit different outfit and get on the road here. So you are the guest. Well, we'll join in and try to keep the chat going. Scotch Test Dummies and the baller tonight's Poison. Yeah. All right, guys. And yes, thanks, Eric. Trust me, this hair is still growing, brother. You ain't seen nothing yet. But this isn't new, man. I've been around. I'm 50. This hairstyle comes and goes, you know. The Malted Man Cave, there's a gentleman named on Instagram, Tonight's Poison, Keith. And the Scotch Test Dummies are going to be on his Instagram live today. Some Instagrammer, yeah. Keith, I'm an Instagrammer. I started there. That's how it all started. Matter of fact, maybe I'll do a live on Instagram later today or tomorrow. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Salancha. Enjoy your coffee. Cheers.